everyone! Today we are here at the Regional Food Bank with the CEO, Katie Fitzgerald. And has she got some insights for us? Or so I hope. I haven't asked her any questions yet. Let's find out. Katie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for being here at the food bank.
It's my pleasure. How long have you been in this role?
I've been in this role 8 months.
8 months. And the previous leader of the Regional Food Bank, how long was he in this role?
Yes, our beloved Rodney Bivens was in this role 37 years. The one and only executive director prior to me.
He literally founded this place.
Correct. He created it out of the back of his pickup truck and created this incredible mission and movement. And it's a total honor and privilege to be able to try to keep it going.
Okay, so I know a few things about this place. It has some values, it has a culture. Tell me what you discovered coming in from the outside, how the values and how it shaped the culture and what that experience was like, maybe compared to places you've been before, or just what it was like coming in and having already a strong presence of culture.
Yeah, so this was my first experience in my professional life coming into an organization where the core values were so deeply owned and integrated among the staff and the community. And it was part of what attracted me, quite frankly, to the food bank. To come in as a new CEO was to see an organization that knew who they were and what they were about, not just the mission, but in terms of their core, who they were, how they interact with each other, how they engage with the community around our core values of vitality, innovation, and stewardship. So
hold on. Say those again slowly for the people.
Got it.
3 core values, and maybe what each of those, how you see those play out, the integration, because sometimes people have values that are just like plaques on the wall.
Yeah.
But how do they actually play out here? So say them slowly or one at a time and kind of tell us how each of those work, because I think it is pretty interesting. I think people will love hearing about it.
Okay, so our 3 core values are vitality, innovation, and stewardship. And I'm going to say something about each one, how they play out, and a little bit about how we make sure that continues to be part of our fiber in our being. So stewardship is sort of obvious for folks, but it's all about being really conscientious about the resources that we are given and have access to, and making sure that they're used in the best possible way for the advancement of our mission. So that might be donor dollars, that's people's time, it's stewarding, it's taking care of those people and those resources to the best of our ability. Innovation is about new ways, and I just heard a great quote this morning coming into work that I want to put on my wall, Winston Churchill, that says, success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm.
That's good.
And that is what we practice with innovation, is we want to step outside the box and say, how can we do this differently? How can we do this better? We don't care if we fail, because it's all about aspiring and being creative and trying to do things better. And then vitality is having fun and having a spirit about us and what we do, and saying yes instinctively rather than saying no, and kind of figuring out how we go. So you know, we have our monthly all-in meetings, and you've seen some. We used Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood last Friday to demonstrate how you should change your shoes before you go into the warehouse. So we're always having fun. In terms of how we integrate those, so when we have new employees come in, actually before someone's a new employee, it's part of our interview process. So we want to know, and we talk to people about what our core values are, and try to assess whether they have a fit with those as a person. Mm-hmm. And then they come.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
Do you have any mechanisms to do that? Or ways besides just questions that help you kind of discover, because there is, even some of the HR professionals watch this, some CEOs, recruiters, the idea of the whole hiring for fit. Have you learned how to assess that yet?
Well, I think we try to not be super direct about it, and I don't know, I mean, I'm not an HR professional, so this may not be the right way, but we try not to say, well, these are our core values, and what do you think about those? Because who's going to say,
you vital?
Yeah, who's going to say no? So we ask questions that give us a window into, does that person give any examples that would suggest to us that they are innovative, or that they practice vitality or have vitality? Or that, have we heard or seen anything that suggests to us that they demonstrated stewardship? And that can be very broad. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be a fundraising stewardship thing, but just stewardship, caring for something that's been entrusted upon them and how they demonstrated that. So we look for sort of demonstrations of the core values in the interviews. And then when they come in, we really orient people more to the core values in the employee orientation. And then we have ways in which we try to continue to make them part of our fiber and being. So they're on the walls. They are all over the walls.
Yes.
They are on our badges as we walk around. We do, at our monthly all-in meetings, we have cards all over, so if you see somebody demonstrating one of the core values, you can write it down, and then every once a month we pull names, people get gift certificates that how they demonstrated the core value gets shared with all staff and celebrated. And it's in our performance reviews and in our evaluations. So we're really trying to kind of help people step into that space, because the core value is going to be great for those people whether they're here or if their career takes them somewhere else, because if you can be a person who embodies those core values, they're transcendent, right? They go beyond the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma, and we hope bring greater meaning and joy to people's lives.
Okay, so when you came in and you were exposed to all of that, because now you're the leader of the whole thing,
right?
So inherently, you either those were attractive to you, or you thought, I already kind of gel with that. That's kind of how I see myself. How have you embraced them in your leadership, in maybe just even direction and vision, because you have to create vision now going forward? How have you been able to do that?
Yeah, so, I would say what's been wonderful about being a new leader, I mean, I think a lot of times new leaders come in and they think they've got to set the tone and the values of the organization. And I would call it a community, in our community, you get to come into the community, and it's been wonderful for me to have a community of people who so own those values that are consistent with my own worldview and my work. So just to become a part of that is a very empowering, I think it's been very empowering for our staff to not feel like this new person comes in and gets to reset the table.
Yeah.
But really the table has been set, and this is a person coming in who's going to contribute her skills and expertise and energy to this mission that we all care about. So on the front end, that's been really wonderful. And then I think it is my job to continue to make sure that those core values, because they are so deep and core, they don't change, old definition. It's my job to make sure that those continue to stay alive and are dynamic, right? That they don't get stale, they don't end up just being a word on a wall, but that they are integrated and dynamic, and they should evolve to some extent. Their manifestation should evolve as the organization moves forward. So as the leader, that's my job. How are the core values integrated, manifest? How do they evolve in our practice, and can we really continue to connect with them over time? So I see that as my role.
That's a pretty good gig.
It's a great gig.
Okay, so then taking it out to the larger idea of culture, because those three, when people say, what's that place like? What's that place like to work at? Instead of just saying these three values, how would you describe the culture then, beyond kind of what the values are, kind of what the values create for people to live in?
Sure. So, and it's a great question. In 8 months, I don't know that I've really stepped back and just sort of had to describe that. So the first things that came to my mind the first word that came to my mind was fun.
Cool.
We do have fun here. We laugh a lot. We in the work and outside the work. So we have fun. I think there's a sense of freedom here, where people are not just encouraged but supported to step out of their comfort zone, try new things, bring forth new ideas, and there's actual support for that in terms of employee empowerment. And that's something we're really continuing to work on and push. And I think that there's a sense of there's just sort of a sense of inspiration and a sense of commitment to mission that's very aspirational. So, the work we do is dealing with people when they're in their very often their lowest point in their life, and when the problems that they're having may seem intractable. And so one can imagine that could get pretty hard for folks who are in that business every day. But this place has such a spirit of aspiration that we're here for folks, but we're here not just to help people in the moment, but to really advance them and their communities as best we possibly can for the future. So that's just inspiring.
Yeah, that's pretty invigorating. Okay, so one final thing for the folks watching. How could those that are locally here in Oklahoma get involved, partner? How do you look for businesses and connect with kind of teams come and serve? Let's give the folks a pitch on the place where they can get involved.
Okay, great. So for folks who want to be a part of this mission, and I would just say our mission is fighting hunger and feeding hope. So there are opportunities to fight hunger in the moment, and there are opportunities to help build hope in people's lives, and that is a tremendously powerful experience. So the ways people can do that is come and volunteer here at the Regional Food Bank, and you can go online at regionalfoodbank.org and sign up to volunteer any day of the week, morning shifts, afternoon shifts, evening shifts in our volunteer center. It's a great way to get started and see the impact of your labor. Very fun, lots of music, lots of good times, lots of good times. And then take a tour. Another great way is take a tour and learn about what we do, again, just by contacting us through our website. And get involved in your local community. If there's a food pantry, I mean, chances are they're affiliated with the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma. And consider going out and volunteering somewhere, whether it's a local church or another food pantry, and just step into that experience to walk that journey with other people and see what you can learn from it, because it will teach you great lessons about life. So those are the main ways I would say for people to initially get involved. And companies love coming to our volunteer centers. We've got space where you can do a meeting, you can volunteer a bit, you can have as big an experience or as narrow an experience as you would like, but the experience itself will be powerful. So we love having corporate partners come out.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Welcome.
You guys definitely want to come and see this place. You'll get to see all the amazing facilities here that are just incredible, and what they do is amazing. So thank you so much.